Okay, everybody, I'm going to take you through some of the operations that you're going to need if you want to create a table in PowerPoint as your template for your poster. So I'm going to start by opening up 365 PowerPoint and getting myself a new blank PowerPoint. Now, I want to, first of all, to cut out the features that I've already got waiting for me, because I'm going to start my table from, sorry, I can't find what I need here for some reason. Don't know why I can't. There's a cut up. Oh, I know what's the problem. Sorry, I can't reach the cut. All right, there we go. So I've got myself a completely blank slide. I want to go into design because I've got to choose the size that I want. For the sake of this this video, I'll choose the standard size, okay? But you will probably want to do a bit of research and work out what size you would like to have for yours. And if you want to have a different size, you go into customized, and that will tell you. We can, this is quite a small one, so actually we're going to use a bigger one for a poster. We'll go a bit bigger than that. So let's try something like 25 to 18. And we're going to have landscape orientation. Okay, so I don't want this thing over here. All right, so I've selected my size. Next thing I'm going to do, I want to insert the table. And I'm going to base it on 3 columns, and I'm going to give myself 5 rows. Okay, so I'll spread this all out and we'll see what we've got. I should mention that it's going to give you, as you can see, a variety of shades of colour. And it does that so that you can actually see what you're working with, so that you can see the different boxes that you've created inside the table. Otherwise, if I reduce it all to white, you can't see what you're doing. Okay, so there are 2 useful operations here, because I've started with a number of boxes. I've started with 15 boxes because it's easier to reduce than to add. So let's suppose, for example, that I don't want 5 boxes in my first column. The first thing I'm going to do is to push this one up. Okay, so I can, if you see what I'm doing there, I can modify these. I can pull them down and push them up. And what I'm going to do in this case, I'm going to have my title at the top. So I don't want all these 3 separate boxes for my title. All right. So if I highlight all those and right click, then I can, on my menu here, I can see a thing called merge. And if I click on that, as you see, it's changed my 3 boxes into 1. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to put in some text. So if I go to the home page, the text, this is the default. It's Calibri 18 point. Now I want to use bigger text than that. So I'm probably going to, for the title, I'm going to go up quite big. I'm going to go up to something like 66, and let's see what that does. And I don't want to use Calibri either. I'm going to use Arial. I just happen to like Arial. There are a number of possibilities. You can use Tahoma or Helvetica. You can just explore that a little bit. If I can manage to find this Arial, here we go. All right, now I'm going to call my title PowerPoint. Whoops, I've forgotten to put in the caps lock. So again, PowerPoint for Poster. There's my title. And as you can see, I've actually got it in bold at the minute, which I don't particularly want. So the next question is, where do I want it in position? So I've got this big cell right across the top. And if I click on this thing here, which says text alignment, then this will give me, if I want to put it in the center, so I've got left, center, and right, basically. And it's going to look better as far as I'm concerned if I have it in the center. Okay. Now, what I can also do, if you watch this, if I click on here, that was a right click. Down the bottom, I've got all sorts of things that I can play around with, but what I'm interested in here right now is in the cell shading option. Okay, so if I go into cell shading, it's going to give me an option with lots of colors, and if I want still more, I can go into here and it's going to give me millions. So let's play around with this a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go somewhere between green and blue. All right. I'm just, fooling around because I could spend hours doing this if I like colors and it's interesting. But, I'm choosing the color anyhow. So I've just done that to show you that option. So repeat quickly. That was a right click. Down to the bottom, cell shading. Either choose one of the colors that's there already, or if I want more, go into more fill and play around in there. Okay. Having changed the background color, I might decide that I want to change the font. So change the font. I need to highlight it, and then if you see there's a thing here, font color. It's a letter A with a red underneath, or whatever color it happens to be that I've been using. So I might, for example, decide I want to have it in black, and then it'll look like that. I don't think it's particularly improved by having it in black, to be honest, so I'll go back again. But, that's the place where I can choose what color I want for my font. And I don't have to have the same color throughout. I can have a different color in another box. All right, different color in every box if I want to be really crazy. Okay, so we looked at this system, let's just remember it again. Highlight a number of cells, okay, and then click on merge, and all the ones that are highlighted are brought together. Okay, so I've done this in order to show you the opposite. So if I want to have more than one here, let's say that I want to have 2 big ones instead of 4 small ones. All right, so now I go to this thing called split. And if I click on split, it will ask me what I want exactly. So I only want 1 column. I'm not going to split the column, so that stays 1, but I want to have 2 rows. All right, so if I click on that, that's going to give me 2 rows. All right, now another thing which I may want to do, it's available if I want it, is click on, so I highlight everything and then click on here and click on borders. And borders is going to give me a various number of options. For example, I could have outside borders, and then I've got a border all round the edge. All right. Or I can have bottom border or right border. You can see how they all inside borders, all kinds of things. But I'm going to have all borders. Okay, so what I've done now is it's not going to stop me splitting or merging or whatever I was doing before. That stays the same. It's just a different kind of look, and I wanted to show you that possibility. Okay, I'll show you 2 more things and then we'll stop. The first thing is I'm now going to, I've got this default font size and style, and I want to do some headings in my different things. So I'm going to highlight the other parts of the table that I haven't used yet. Okay, so I've highlighted everything except the top, the title. And I'm going to choose for my headings, because I'm going to do my headings. So if I choose, I want to have Arial for these, and I don't want to have a big one like 66 point, which I had before. I want something much more modest, so 32. And what I'll find now, because I've highlighted all of this, I'll find that each time I want to make a heading, it will naturally come out at that size. Okay, so my first heading is going to be introduction. Now, as you see, it's a little bit small for me to really see what I'm doing. So if I come down here in the bottom right corner, I can see that I'm at a zoom level of 30% at the minute. And I'm going to take that up to 50%, just to see how that goes. Oops, now that didn't work at all. What have I done? Okay, I'm not sure what I did there, but now I've gone up to 100%. And don't forget, you can always have a look. If you go on slideshow and then from current slide, you can always see what your thing is going to look like for real on the screen. Obviously, you can zoom beyond, but this is just to give you an idea of what your basic size will be. Okay, so if you're not sure about the effect that you're getting any particular time, this is what you can do. Now I don't know how to get out of this, which I should do, but I don't. Oh, Okay. All right. So I'm going to stick with this, but once again, to remind you, I'd like to have this in the center. So I go back to home. So don't forget, this is under the home section here, the home tab, and into text alignment, and there you go. I've put it in the center. Obviously, if I want it in bold, for example, then I can, I can play around, or I can have it a bit bigger if I want. I mean, I can always make modifications. The only thing to watch here is if I change this now, I've got 32 everywhere else, so then they'll all be different. But, it's perfectly possible to do that. All right. So if I want to go back and alter something that I've just done, I just went into bold. If I don't think I like that, I click on the back arrow over here and I'll go back to where I was before. Okay, one more thing. You're obviously going to have various visuals, and the way that you should always go with visuals is that you prepare them on your computer, okay, and then you go insert picture. So if you see here, I've clicked on insert now, and then I've got pictures, all right. And if you're coming from your own computer with your insert, then you want to use this device, insert picture from this device. And then I'll go and pick up something or other that I've got in my own pictures, whatever it happens to be. Let's just have a thing here which happens to be available, and it pops up, wherever, but of course I'm going to cite it wherever I want it. Okay, so that's the technique that you'll use whenever you have a graph or some kind of a figure to insert. Well, I'll show you this with one other. So insert pictures again, and see if I can find a chart, just to make clear what it is we're doing. So I'm going to go to documents. Okay, click on this one here. It's not what I wanted. Oh dear. All right, I have to go back. So I don't know whether this is going to work or not. I thought I'd gone to a place where I have a file available, but I'll go somewhere else if I can do that. All right, here we go. So let's put this one in instead. And again, I'm choosing where I want to put it. Perhaps I'll have it up here. Okay, so you'll use this insert pictures whenever you have a graph or an image that you want to introduce. Okay. And the only other thing that I want to just remind you of is that you're developing a story, so that just as I began with an introduction, remember again, I'm going to go to home, okay, and over here for text alignment and center to put that there. So I'm creating a story which begins with my introduction, probably ends with my conclusion. If necessary, I might need a little box down the bottom for reference, or I could have my reference somewhere else on another slide. But anyhow, you know, or fit it in some corner. But basically, I'm developing from the beginning of my work, once I've created a title, of course, and I'm going through in some kind of logical order, presenting, you know, my different things, and then ending up with whatever comes at the end, which, as I say, would normally be my conclusion, or possibly you might end with your evaluation. Anyhow, you know, use that systematic order. Okay, I think that's about all. The only thing I want to say is, for people who are not, you know, that familiar with this, what I'd like to say is it's worth investing time playing around with it. When you're not so familiar with a piece of software, you know, the best way to develop your understanding of it is to play with it. It's quite time consuming, but I mean, this is for people that like doing this kind of stuff. If you don't like doing it, choose a template that's made for you and just, you know, go straight away with that. But if you do like this kind of thing, and you you know, you're keen to sort of get an interesting result, then take some time to explore all the different stuff. I've shown you a very small amount of what can be done with PowerPoint, obviously, and I don't know most of it myself anyhow. But for your poster, it should be, you know, fairly straightforward to do these things, and you'll have the opportunity to go through again and listen again to this if there are things that you need to check out a second time. Okay, so I'm going to stop there.